Okay, so here we are with Gaspare
Gasper, you can
Randazzo.
just say Gasper, like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but with a G.
But I like
Gasper.
the Gaspare. I feel like like Italian. It's
Gaspare is like too Italian for me because I'm not that kind of Italian. I'm
oh,
like
your
super
parents are
American.
your
My parents
parents.
are. My parents are like members of Sons of Italy type Italians. Like
Okay, they're like
they're like
growing fig trees in the backyard, like the figs and
yes, the fig tree, the cherry tree, chickens.
they got the
uh,
pasta sauce going outside with the.
Yes, like crushing tomatoes from the garden to make the tomato sauce.
I
So
love
when
that.
kids go there, they like literally dip their hands in the pot and lick the garlic sauce. Yeah,
Right.
it's
So you might be asking, why am I having you on your, this is a Millionaire Teachers Live Financially Free website.
because all teachers were millionaires.
Right. No, I wish. I just feel like teachers have the ability and the skills to be able to have these amazing side hustles and gain information and create this amazing life for themselves with the UFT benefits. And I've got this whole thing going on with Millionaire Teachers, but I'm having you on. I asked you to come on. I reached out to you because, I'm on my Facebook, my New York City DOE UFT Facebook, and I see you I'm scroll, and I see,
Sorry.
and no, and I'm reading all these posts about COVID in the classrooms and the masks and all this crazy stuff with 2020, 2021. And I see you and I'm hysterical.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Too
You
much.
got me through. You don't even understand. Like, I've been reading such a heavy post line after scare, like threats going on between teachers. And then I'd see you and I'd be hysterical in the bed. And my husband, what do you want? What do you watch? I'm like, this guy is so funny.
Imagine my wife thought that way. This would be such a nice world.
I'm like, this guy, he's like making these TikTok, then I got addicted to TikTok. I'm like, he's making the funniest videos about the DOE, about teaching. So,
Well, not about the DOE.
not about the DOE. No, we love the
It's about
DOE.
teaching. I don't even work for the DOE. I work for the EOD. Okay.
Oh, yeah, the EOD.
Yeah.
Fine.
The OED.
Right, fine.
But yeah, I just when all this started, everyone was just so focused on the negative stuff, and like, it's just not me as a person. Like, I am never going to write anything political on social media or anything. It's not my type of personality. Like, obviously, I have an opinion on it, just like everybody else. But my opinion is not changing anybody else's opinion, so there's no reason for me to write it on social media to get into a fight for what. So like when this all started, actually, it's so funny because about today's the 25th. So about like 10 days ago last year is when I started making these videos about teaching, because prior to this, all the videos I would make would be for my students. I have a green screen in my house.
Okay.
So we made a whole room like a studio. We painted a whole room green, the floor to ceiling, and the ceilings, the sides. And I used to film like historical videos for my students, and I still do that. But I used to like dress like Julius Caesar, have my kids stab me, and like I would fall to the floor, and I would show it to my students as just a way to make them learn more about history through like a fun, different perspective. Like, oh, there's my teacher getting stabbed by his kids. Like, that's funny.
That's
or maybe it is. It's not. I don't know if they find it funny. They think I'm nuts, but I'm fine with that.
No, I love that. I love that. You've got to be crazier than them.
Oh yeah, that's been my philosophy for 10 years now. How crazy them. But then, like, I started realizing like so many teachers were so anxious and depressed and sad about all this, and I really didn't have an opportunity to do this stuff for students because I didn't see students or have any real interaction. I talked to blank screens all day, every day.
A year and a half, a blank screen.
Yeah, so like I was like, well, let me do something for the teachers, which would kind of be fun. And I just started it all. The first like video that I ever had that, and I hate this term so much, but that went viral.
Right.
Was when they announced that we were going to be teaching outside, and that was a thing. So I went outside and I was like, what would that look like? And I was in my garden and I was like swatting flies, and I had my kid come, and like that like got
with the chalkboard. I've watched it 10 times.
Oh yeah, the chalkboard. Like, so that like got kind of big, and then I was like, oh, there's kind of a market that people want to see, teaching comedy, and then it just kind of like evolved from there. And then like thankfully, like there's never a run out of ideas because every day something new and crazy was being said about, you know, teaching the mass, this, that. So, you know, all this stuff. And then it just evolved. And then people started to send me ideas and they were like, well, this would be funny if this happened. Or like the minute a mayor or governor would announce something, my inbox would be flooded with people like, please do a video about this. Please, 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 please. So I'd be like, all right, just give me 10 minutes. Like I have to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I have 2 babies, you know? So like, but that was the cool part of it, is that like all of a sudden people would like, if the mayor was on a press conference, I wouldn't have cared. I would have just been like, all right, whatever. I'll just find out what happened in an hour. But now I'm sitting there watching it, like taking notes and then filming a video like 30 seconds later. And that's kind of what kept people also like kept the momentum going, because it was like one thing after another. You know, like if the mayor spoke, 10 minutes later, I put out a video. So it was very relevant in the time.
Oh my God. First of all, I just had a very serious conversation with an attorney, and she was a special ed teacher in the DOE, and she has recently become an attorney, and she's doing wills and trust and estate and all these like very complicated things and protecting your assets and all this stuff. And I was telling her about you because I said, I have to go. I've got this comedian on and all this stuff. And I was showing her some of your stuff. And I was telling her, you know, I was telling her about the video, specifically this video that I was showing my daughter. I'm like, they've got these huge windows, you know, huge windows in the classroom. And then they only open like 3 inches. And you're there. And she was hysterical.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, she was
hysterical.
You know,
it's funny about that is, so from this, like it started, you know, as what it was, but now like I've connected with teachers like all over the country, which is really cool, but people don't believe what's going on in New York. So like people will write to me and be like, there's no way your window only opened that much. And I'm like,
yes,
it does. And they're like, then why are there bars on your window? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I didn't make the window. Like, and like, or, you know, one of the funniest to me, and I don't even know if this was funny to other people, I did something on Instagram. I don't know if it ended up on Facebook, but about how we need the key to open the door to our bathrooms.
Yeah, I didn't
all
see that.
These teachers from the Midwest reached out and they're like, why? And I'm like, why what? They're like, why does teachers need a key to get in the bathroom? I'm like, so that no one goes in there and fights and does other things. And they're like, why would a kid do that? I'm like, what?
That's what they do.
Like, it was just like the disconnect was so crazy that it was hysterical to me. But that goes like with the whole, you know, when they tell you, well, this model will work. And then they show you like a YouTube video from the Midwest of like a perfect classroom where everyone is like
a fishbowl, And you're like,
yeah, like everyone's just in a circle looking into the fishbowl, nodding in approval. Right. And like when the reality is like they smashed the fishbowl with a sledgehammer. Like, it's definitely been cool, like more so on Instagram, just meeting all these teachers from the rest of the country and like even the world, like people from like India. Like, oh, this even is happening here. And I'm like, it does not that specific, whatever, like the mass, this and that. Like people say like, yeah, we're even going through that here. And I'm like, you're in India and you know who I am? Like, that's so weird to me. Like, it's cool though, but it's just weird, you know. Because I don't see it like that. I just see myself as a dad with dropping my kids off at school and then coming home and making eggs. You know, like I don't know.
No, you're not. You. I mean, I was telling my husband about you. He's like, "Who is this guy that you watch?" I'm like, I just can't explain it to you. He's just so uplifting, and it's just so relatable. Everything is just so relatable, and you spend your time. You know, I see you've got this Abraham Lincoln tattoo. I mean, you just
I do.
I mean, I would love to see this green room that you have going on. I mean, you did this for your students. This is crazy.
So I'll show you a picture of it right now because right now my daughter is like sleeping and I really just I'm very loud. So the Abe Lincoln tattoo, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
If you want to know about why I have it.
Dress up. I mean, I've got your Instagram here. I'm going to share my screen.
So I dress up. So I go to Party City like the day after
this
Halloween.
Is Abraham Lincoln here.
Oh yeah. Well, so I go to Party City the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
And what I do is I go and I buy everything like at 75% off discount.
Right.
And then I put costumes together. So like I have me dressed as an ancient Egyptian, me dressed as this, me. And then when I teach it in school, I show up to school that day dressed up as whatever it is, because the kids love it. And like it all started because a few years ago I started. So, all right, backtrack. I have pictures of Abe Lincoln around my classroom. I teach history. So obviously I have pictures of Abe Lincoln. And the kids used to always say like, oh, mister, you're in love with Abe Lincoln. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm in love with the guy.
Like a man crush.
Yeah, like I like him because he's a president. And so they used to take pictures of Abe Lincoln holding his wife and cut the wife's face out and put my face on it. And I thought that was hysterical. I loved it. So I would hang those up. So then one day, finally, I said to the kids, I said, guys, wouldn't it be fine? There was a magazine with his face on, and I said, how about I get this tattooed right here on my chest? And they were all laughing. And they were like, yeah, okay, you wouldn't do it. So kids like, I bet you $500 you wouldn't do it. Another kid like, I bet you $1,000. So they're all just like throwing these numbers out, and I'm just like laughing. So then I took out a piece of paper. I said, Mike, what'd you just say? $500? Wrote it down. I was like, Deb, would you say 1,000? Wrote it down. Didn't think anything of it. Then as time went by, like 2 weeks later, it's President's Day. I'm celebrating. And I tell my brother-in-law, they own a tattoo shop in Brooklyn. Okay. And I was like, I tell him the story, and he's like, that's crazy. He's like, get it. So I was like, you're right. So I went, I got Abe Lincoln. I walked in. I go, guys, I took out the list. I was like, Mike, you have $500 on you? I was like, Deb, you got $1,000? They were like, what are you talking about? I was like, I might as well show it to you now.
Yeah, show it.
We're already here. So I go,
oh my God.
And I show them Lincoln, and the kids go nuts. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to take your money. I was like, but I hope you just learned a very valuable lesson. One, don't make bets with money you don't have. And two, don't make bets with someone who might be crazy. I was like, because you don't know me. And like they all thought that was great. And like still to this day, like I'll be walking, this was about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll be walking through the mall, and a kid will come up to me. I teach high school. These kids are in their 20s now. A kid will come up to me like married with children and be like, yo, babe, this is that guy I told you about. Yo, mister, please. This I used to tell, I told my wife, please take your pants off. I'm like, whoa. Take my pants up.
Right.
Let's be very clear.
Right.
Here is the green screen room. I don't know if you can see it. There's all props up there, and then I got a whole light system, and then there's the wall is all green. So
this was all for your students to teach.
This was originally just made to teach. This was pre-COVID.
Right.
This was all just because I had, I wanted the green screen so that I can film videos in, just
your administration. So your administration, they love you. They like me.
I don't know. I don't know.
But like, I would love a teacher like this.
They appreciate that I do a lot for the kids, and they're I don't know. I never know. I don't know. I think they like me.
Yeah, I mean,
does anyone ever truly know if administration loves them? I don't know. I want to say yes. They know that I dress up. I throw birthday parties for Abe Lincoln every year. I grow my beard from November to February. Then I shave my mustache. I have the top hat. I come in with streamers. I set my whole classroom up for his birthday, and I throw him a party. I give them candy from the 1850s. It's really just from the dollar store. But I tell them it's from, because they have this like old fashioned candy that they sell at the dollar store. And I just give out the candy. I give out pictures of Abe Lincoln, which is just pennies, to the kids.
This is like I feel like you're a teacher that like every kid would want to have. I mean, it's just I feel like I'm showering you with compliments, but it's just you're like a rock star teacher.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. How I am right now with you is how I am every day in my life, for good or for bad, which is why probably my wife's annoyed with me half the day.
Listen, you've got a wife. You've got a wife. That's half the battle. At least you've got.
But like she, I do the same stuff for my students. Like I'm transparent with them. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be real with them. I have fun with this. Listen, when I dress up for the costumes, I wear that from the minute I wake up till I go to bed. I don't change when I get to school. This is not like an act. And now my son's 4, and now he's like at the age where he's starting to get embarrassed of things, which is hysterical. Because like I dropped him off at school dressed as Julius Caesar, and he's like, I woke him up in the morning, and he's like, he just opened his eyes. He's like, no, Daddy, please no. I was like, to school we go, and like we were driving. And like I always just pray I don't get into a car accident because I stood out as Julius Caesar. Right. Like to whoever hit me, or it'd probably work in my favor. Right. And I drop him off at school, and my son's like running into the door. But he'll appreciate it one day, I'm sure.
I love that TikTok where you're dressed up as Julius Caesar, and then the kid, you know, because you're teaching to a blank screen, but you're there and you're like, hello.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
I know. They
because like even that's the thing, like I will say, like COVID kind of it took the fun out of it, but like I still wanted to dress up, but it sucked doing it in my house. Like it's just also I had a 1-year-old, well, a newborn.
You know, I saw. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, like I had a newborn. She was on the Roomba. You know what I mean? Like I'm just putting snacks in her mouth. My wife also is a school social worker, so she's in the living room and she's, you know, doing her job. I'm in the kitchen doing my job. We're just putting, you know, veggie sticks in my daughter's mouth, passing her back and forth. Yes. Like, what else was there to do? You know, like, and so it really did take the fun. Also, I literally talked to myself for 15 straight months. Like,
that was weird.
You know, that's not a joke. Like that sucked. Like dressing up as Julius Caesar and just standing there pretending to be him to nobody is miserable.
I know. I mean, so what do you expect this year to be? We've got this Delta, right? We've got Delta Plus, we've got Lambda, we've got all these like.
Yeah, I expect us to
we're coming back
to some capacity, and then they'll say no virtual, and then people will complain because people are going to be home half the time. Because like I said, like through Instagram now, I've made friends with other schools in other countries and the rest of the country, and people are already back. And what's happening is they're already back, and they said they were promised no virtual, nothing. They went back, and then 10-day quarantine. Then so kids were home quarantining. A friend of mine from Alabama, she had to give packets to the kids. The kids' parents complained. We're a week into school. My kid's not learning. All they're getting is a packet to teach themselves. And she said, now it's coming down that they're going to have some virtual component added, and they're 2 weeks into school. So how it didn't take long, but as a parent, I understand it too, because like my kid's young, so it's a little different. But if my son was in 4th grade and he was supposed to be learning, and now he's just got a packet and he's sitting home and he's not sick and he wants to be in school and he's got to now just sit home with a packet, I'd be pissed too. So I get the parent. I mean, I almost want to be hybrid a little because to me it'd be hysterical. I'm looking at this year as just another year of.
Just got to survive. Just got to survive it.
You know, we're going to be doing a lot of things that, you know, that no one's comfortable doing again. And I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. And also, like, by now, don't we usually go in and set up classrooms and stuff?
I know. It's August 25th today. I'm like, you know, I've got teachers here on, you know, I'm on Long Island, and they're like, well, I'm going August 31st. We're going to set up our classrooms, PD. I'm like, should I go to the classroom? Should I set up?
Are we doing that? Like, do I even have a room? Are we moving from room to room? Are the kids moving? Are we like?
I've got to find my keys. I haven't been there since March 2020.
That's what's so funny. And then I was going in last year. I don't know if you guys went in at all. We had to go in once a week, but there was no students. We had to teach virtually from the building once a week.
Okay.
But like every time I went, it was always like. I didn't have key. I didn't even know where my key, like, and then I was in a different room. I'd always forget them because a week would go by and I would just be walking around aimlessly because I was in a building essentially by myself. You know, there was other teachers, but everybody was so split and separated. It was
very spooky, very weird, very
spooky.
It was
just, and I was just talking to myself in a classroom, you know, and I would like, it was productive.
I mean, and teachers, you know, teachers are real social beings.
Especially
I thrive off that energy. I mean, I'm an English teacher, English history. I thrive off that energy. So
also,
it was weird.
I do stand-up comedy as well as whatever. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I did some Zoom shows. You're talking to people. They didn't even turn, if they had their cameras on, which I begged, then they wouldn't even put their mics on. So you'd literally just make a joke and you'd see like, but it's not the same. And it's the same thing with I always say when people are like, because people say like, oh, I stand up, like, how'd you prepare? I was like, I'm a teacher. That's how I prepare. I put the same show on 5 times a day, make the same joke, same pause, same this, same that. It's all same as comedy. It's just I curse a little more on stage.
Yeah. So where do you do your stand-up?
Nightclubs, in the city, in Staten Island, wherever. I mean, lately, which has been a really cool thing, I got asked to do I did it back in July. I did a conference for teachers in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So they had me down there. I did stand up for all these people who were there. It was very funny because like they were all there watching these seminars. I wasn't funny. I'm saying like the conference. The people were watching seminars on like phonics.
Right.
Math, how to do math. And then like I got up and I did they let me do a seminar, which was cool. I did a seminar on using humor in the classroom.
That's awesome.
But like it was just like everyone's was like educational. And then I got up and I'm like, all right, let me tell you about Abe Lincoln tattoo I have. And
yeah, then, well, that's what's going on with me. Like I have the CPA, the attorney, and then I've got you just sort of like as a comic relief. I mean, I think that it's necessary.
No, and that's what the lady said too. She's like, we need a little breakup in this. So like then at night I did stand up for them, which was cool at this conference. And now like I'm doing another one.
They reached out to you just like I did. Like they reached out to you.
Yeah. And they asked, and then I'm doing another one in San Diego. Which is really cool. And then I just got last night, which was really cool. And I didn't even understand this. My wife had to tell me that this was, not that I didn't understand it, but
you're like, like in disbelief.
No, I just didn't know. I got nominated for an award for to teacher educational performer or something, like educational performer. And it's like me and pretty like cool people like Mr. D. I don't know if you know who he is. Like all these like teachers that are like big comedians.
Oh.
And like Eddie B is on the list. Okay. And then there's my name. So I'm like, what the hell am I doing on here? And it's at the award ceremony is at I'm looking at my wife because she knows the name and I don't know it. The Opryland in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, that's the best.
So I didn't even know what Opryland was. And I'm
understand. That place is
I told my wife, I was like, we're going to be going to some hotel and staying. I was like, I don't know. It's called the Grand Opera House. And she's like, Opryland? She's like, you're doing getting an award in Opryland? I'm like, I'm not getting it. I'm nominated. I'm just going to go. And she's like, cool. I'm like, oh, I didn't even want to go. I didn't even know what it was. You know,
it's amazing. So, I saw a concert there. It's an unbelievable venue. It's iconic. You're gonna, as a history teacher, you are gonna love it. It's gonna be
it's cool. But like I said, like the people that are like on there, Eddie B. If you saw him, he's that.
I saw him, I guess.
He was like the first really big teacher comedian. He does all the rants.
Okay. About
like going back to school, whatever. But like all these people are like, they quit teaching to do comedy and are huge.
Oh my God.
And then like there's me and I'm like, like I'm going to go power wash my yard when this is over. Like, so it's like very funny.
We all live like this. We all live like this.
I know. So it's cool though, that this like opened up these doors to do things like this, which is nice.
So that's it. Like you basically just transitioned from like doing the, first of all, to do this at all, to be able to get dressed up, go into school, dressed up as Abe Lincoln, Julius Caesar. That's kind of brave. I mean, I'm not going to lie. You say it's crazy. I say it's really brave. Like when I have a totally new haircut, let's say, or a new hair color, I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God. But like you're dressing up full on for these kids. So
yeah, you know what it is like. And once again, are there people that I work with that are probably like, you're an idiot? Probably. And I don't really care. Cause like the way I look at it is I never became a teacher for other teachers. Like I became a teacher for the kids. And in all my years of doing this, I've never met a kid who was like, oh, I hate that you do this. This is so dumb. It's just always been met with excitement. So of course, and like I have
smiles.
I have a great rapport with everybody I work with. I have a lot of friends that I work with, whatever. But are there people who roll their eyes when I come in dressed up? Sure. And I don't really care. And I've had arguments with them about like, they're like, oh, well, here we go. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry that, you want to just do it your way. I do it my way. I don't care that you read from a textbook to the kids. So
Yeah.
if I want to give the Gettysburg Address by standing on the desk and making Abe Lincoln's lips move on my tattoo, just let me be. And they're like, and now this has been 10 years. Now I think they respect it, and they're like, okay, this isn't an act. I want the kids to like it.
It's
They
so
never
cool.
forget this stuff. The kids, like, they always remember. Like I said, every time I see students, they're like, they used to be like, do you still dress up? Like, do you still do all that crazy stuff? And I'm like, yeah, because I do.
Yeah.
And I still have all the videos with my kids as Julius Caesar. And also that's fun. Like, my kids know who Julius Caesar is. Like, how many 4-year-olds know that Julius Caesar was stabbed?
Oh my God. So did you ever have a teacher or teachers that were memorable to you? Like,
so I had a teacher who, looking back,
yeah,
I had teachers who changed my life and made me want to be teachers because they were like, long story, like my mom had a brain aneurysm when I was in high school and she survived, thank God. But it was really hard. I was 16, 17. My mom was in critical condition for months in ICU. And I had a teacher who like really took me under her wing and was just like super nice to me. And I always said, like, I want to be a teacher like that. Not that I don't care about the standards, because that's the wrong term, even though I openly say that at work.
Right.
But I care more about the kids having somebody and relating to somebody and being there for kids. Like, not everybody has a father figure in their life or an older brother or anyone in their life who cares about them. Like, kids wake up and get cursed out from the minute they leave their house till nighttime. So if I could be the one who makes you at least have fun, that's cool to me. You know what I mean? So I look at it like that. Not that I don't care. I still do all the essays and teach.
The regions, all that stuff.
But there's standards you have to meet, but also I want them to enjoy being with me during the class. So and I had teachers when I was in high school who did that. Even if it wasn't like they weren't the greatest teacher in the world, they made me feel comfortable. And to me as a kid, a high school kid going through a lot of stuff, whatever, if you're there for somebody, that's more important. Because like at the end of the day, how many of the 150 kids I teach are going to go on to become history majors?
Right.
2, 3, if you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Who cares? Like,
who cares?
In the grand scheme of it, but if you go on to be a good person, that's much more beneficial to a lot more people's lives. Wow. And just to show them like, hey, it's okay to be an adult and be silly. And like, who cares what other people think? And that's
the thing. It's okay. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to laugh, at 50 years old, 60 years old.
Yeah. When they see me getting out of my car in the morning dressed as Lincoln and they're like, holy crap, this guy drove here as Lincoln. It starts the day. And also like everyone I work with gets excited for it, even though they pretend they don't. Like, it's funny because like when someone's walking around, like then we're just sitting in the lunchroom eating and I'm just full on Abe Lincoln eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And like people laugh, and I like bringing laughter to people. Like that's fun to me,
Oh my God. I'm just thinking when you're talking about the sandwich, I'm thinking about the TikTok that you did with the jam, the printer jam. It was like a coffee machine jam. It's like, I'm gonna jam.
Walking? Oh yeah.
I mean, do you think it's so funny when you do these things? Because I am literally out loud. Like my daughter is like, I've got a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and my daughter
is cool too.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter is like, what the heck is going on?
And what's funny is like, I'll show my wife these and she doesn't get it. Not that she doesn't laugh, like she's like, oh, it's okay. But as a non-teacher, it's not the same. Because she's like, why? Does it jam before you need it? And I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, only before you need it. I'm like, if I stay after work, it'll never jam. Like if you're after work printing, it won't jam.
Right,
but
no.
Like, it's only when you need it right before. I made another one of those. I didn't put it out. I did it on Instagram maybe, but about, it's the same thing. And it's like, you need me right now? All right, let me just warm up for 20 minutes. Like, that's the other thing that always does. It has to warm up and print like a test page, So, but my wife's like, I don't get why that's funny. I'm like, because you never had a class about to start in 5 minutes, need copies, and it jams. I was like, that's it,
And then you have the administrator with the keys.
Oh, yeah. Coming in to see you.
Do the copies. I mean, now copies are done.
they're done. Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not copying anything now.
No, I mean, everything's going to be on Google Classroom anyway, so I don't even think we need it. And the kids will have something in front of them. I don't know.
What will
But like,
be?
and it's funny because like you laugh about these and I appreciate that. And then there's always people who are like, well, if you don't like kids, why'd you become a teacher? And I'm like, where did you take?
You do like kids. What do you mean?
Like, where did you get, like, not on that video, like if I did a video about like, showing a movie, like how to show a movie, the proper way to show a movie. And I'm like, you start at 0 minutes, you play 45. The next day you start at 6 minutes, you play 45. The next day you start at 12 minutes. And I was like, and when the kids say, oh, we saw this already, you say, no, just recap.
Yeah,
and
recap.
Someone like, people like came in my life about this. Like, well, you don't care about kids if you show a movie for that. I'm like, do you think I really show a movie for 3 weeks? I only show it for 2 weeks. Everybody knows that. Okay. You know, like, but people just, it's the internet. So everyone has an opinion about things that, you know, so, or like I do like observation tips I do. Right. And people are like, oh, these aren't real observations. I'm like, no shit, they're not real.
Obviously.
It's like, I told you to give all the students, an act of trust. On the first day, give all the students your social security number so they trust you. And people are like, well, there are people out there who might follow this. I'm like, then they shouldn't have been teachers. Like, who the hell would
lighten up?
But this is just the world we live in,
Oh my God. Last night I was watching your TikTok, like the kids 20 minutes late walking in the hallway with the pirates' booties, like 20 minutes late.
But these are all things.
These are all things.
And like, and it's funny because like I have like administrators that follow me and they're like, I just want to let you know I follow you, but I can't ever publicly like anything.
Right.
But they're like, but I really like that video. And that, like, I send it to my friends, but I can't tell you I like it. I'm like, no, that was good enough. I was like, that's fine.
Oh my God. So you're really moving, you're really moving up in the world though.
I don't know.
It seems like awards and
I don't know. Listen, I'm not, I'm a teacher. At the end of the day, I'm a teacher. It's my job. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't plan on going anywhere. So I'm not like moving up like I plan on leaving teaching at all.
Right.
I don't know. Just, good things happening. I don't know.
I think that good things happen to good people. And
that sometimes.
And like just like the green screen. I mean, your wife allowed you to have a green screen in the house. I mean, this is just unprecedented.
Well, there's a lot of compromising.
But you did it all because of your kids, and then it transitioned to teachers, and it's just amazing. And I just wish you the best. I hope that you appreciate it. I hope that you come on again. I hope that
whenever you want. I got nothing going on.
Yeah, I hope that we can talk again because I follow you and I just want to show your Instagram one more time.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like I not that I'm not posting on Facebook anymore, but the thing is, Facebook has so many different like just not rules necessarily, but Facebook's just very different. Like. It's becoming very different. So I more now post on Instagram. So it's just a more monetizable platform in a lot of ways. And it's just more free to do things. Like Facebook, they take videos down. If there's a song, if there's a second of a song, like there's a lot of rules with Facebook. And it's just kind of a lot to keep up with on Facebook that.
Forget it. And what about TikTok? TikTok, you're great.
No, TikTok's fine too. TikTok and Instagram is where I post more stuff. Like it's just a more video friendly platform. That's really. I mean, not that I'm giving up on Facebook because I still do because I actually was like, oh, I'm kind of done posting on Facebook, and then I ran into someone. They were like, oh, I never see your stuff anymore in the DOE chat, and I was like,
right.
Oh, I was like, all right. And so I was like, I'll make some more.
So you post it from Facebook into the Facebook chat, or you could have it on Instagram and then you post it into your Facebook chat?
Well, just however it gets there. I post things on Instagram, TikTok, and I just post it to all three.
Right.
To the pages. But some videos aren't really Facebook-y, some aren't. Right. It's so crazy how much I've learned about social media. Every platform has different things that work. So like a video on Facebook that could have 500,000 views could have you know, 5,000 views on Instagram and 1,000 views on TikTok. And it's like,
Right.
wait, it's funny on Facebook, but because it's just the way the platform works and
Huh.
the way people view it. Like TikTok, anything more than like 7 seconds is not big because like people just like to scroll. Instagram, you know, you could get away with 30 seconds. Facebook, you get away with a minute. It's just like and then it's a generational thing. Like there's older adults more on Facebook who are more patient that will sit through a 1 minute video. Instagram is half and half. TikTok is younger.
Get it.
So it's like you got to keep all that in mind, and it's crazy. It's just social media is its completely own language.
Wow. Wow. So have you been able to monetize?
Yeah, things have been good.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, not necessarily like companies. I've been doing like some sponsorship stuff with companies.
I mean, I see with Orange Theory. I don't know if that's just your gym.
No, that a few things are in motion. Okay. You know, but like some clothing companies have reached out. They send you something. You just wear it in a video, and they pay you. Like it's crazy. Like to me, that stuff happens, but this is what they do. Or you just drink a drink while you're talking, and they pay. You know, and it's like it's wild. Yeah,
that's exciting. That's exciting. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so there's some cool things.
Because you're funny. Because I'm telling you, you're very talented. You're very, very talented.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very talented. You're wonderful.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Provided so much, and you provided so much comedy relief, you know, during this hard time. So
I appreciate it.
I'm so happy.
Well, thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that it turns into something really interesting. My millionaire teachers, and you never know. But for right now, we're just gonna keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so
if I could help you, let me know how I could help you if you need something. You know,
you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot about social media. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and I can try to navigate you and guide you. And
thank you. Yeah. So no Gaspare. Gaspare. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Right. Well, thank you for everything, and we'll talk again.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.